Um, Hello, welcome all. Let's give a warm welcome to Thomas Lange. He has been a Debian developer for about 20 years. So let's welcome him for his talk about Phi as a service.
Hello. Today I want to talk or announce a new feature in my what I call Phi Me service. So it's a web page or Phi as a service. And using this service, you can now build your own customized Debian live images. In the past, this service already provided you to build installation image or disk or cloud images. So I'm a sysadmin for a very long time, also Debian developer, and I started the FAI, Fully Automatic Installation project, in 1999. And what is Phi? Usually it's a network installation with Pixie boot on a bare metal server, but you can do this surely also in a virtual machine. Then after some years I had the idea, wouldn't it be also good to have an installation media doing the same installation that we do normally in the network environment with Pixie boot? So now Phi, since a lot of years, can also create installation medias. It also can create change root environments. For example, if you want to do some building of packages, so Phi could also be used for this one. Then the idea was, what about disk or cloud images, which is more a marketing speech, cloud image. Yeah, everyone wants to have cloud. So that you do not get an ISO and then you boot from the ISO and the installation is run, but you will get a ready-to-boot disk image that can be booted in any cloud environment. And I think since 1 year, Phi has the feature also to create live images, but this was only if you set up your own Phi server, so there's a lot of work on it. You have to create a lot of configuration files, and you need to be a more advanced sysadmin. But now I announce that the creation of the live images is also available on the web page Phi project/PhiMe, which is the Phi as a service. And this was done because I thought I want to make my tool available for end users or for technical interested users. But they do not need to know all the details about the configuration, but they could just use a web interface, select some things, and that's what I will show now. So this is the web page. On the very top it says this is the part where you build the Debian Live ISO. You can select a host name, which may also be set via DHCP. A default username is added there. I will use the password FAI for the user and the same for the root account. Then I can select that public SSH key is already installed into the live system, so I may log in via remote. And that's very nice. I can just select, I want to use my Salsa account, giving my Salsa username. That's it. Now I can select different languages. The letter, oh yeah, good hint. Sure, we can do it. So I've set the password and the Salsa account, and now I select which kind of language I want to have. And you see I have a lot of languages. I've added Korean 2 weeks before the DebConf. Then which distribution should the live system run? And here I will choose the Trixie distribution, and it makes no sense to enable the backports kernel for Trixie. But if you want to use the stable release, you can enable a backport kernel. And that's very nice because for the usual installation images of Debian, there's no version of the stable release, but with the backports kernel. But this is available here in this service. And then which desktop environment do we want to have in the files live system? A plain text console means there's no graphical environment at all. I choose here the XFCE. Since I will start this live ISO on a virtual machine, I do not need non-free drivers, but I want to have my favorite editor, maybe the Midnight Commander, Frozen Bubble, and yeah, I think that's it. We can select if we want to have the recommended packages for the customized list of packages. The email option is email is only optional. It's only that you get an email if this job is then finished for downloading. But since no one else hopefully now uses this, we can also have something like a post-in script here. So a post-in script will be uploaded, put onto the live ISO and executed during the first boot. And if you know that you need some special grub options, this is also possible. And then you just click on Create Live Image. The job is sent to the server. The server will look, are there any other jobs in the queue? But it says your job with the identifier TCL and so on is currently being proceeded. So the job is running, and this will take about 4 to 6 minutes. So it will create the whole live environment, then put everything in an ISO, and then the page reloads every 40 seconds or so, and then we will look later on it to see and maybe download the image. What can we do? As I already said, we can choose several environments, add additional packages. For the service that creates a customized installation image, there are some other additional options, but these are yet now the options for the live ISO. You can also have some persistent storage on the user's USB stick. That's also possible, and what I like to do, it's not yet integrated, that you will just have a checkbox. So this live ISO will also do the auto login. So the users do not need to log in at all, but if you boot the machine, the user that is created will automatically be logged in, so similar to a kiosk system. How does it work? So FAI has a config space. This is just a directory tree with certain different kinds of configuration. For example, if we do a real installation on hard disk, we have a config file which describes how you want to partition the hard disk. So do you want to have 2 or like 10 partitions, the sizes of the partitions, which kind of file system should be installed. We have a different configuration where you just name the package name which should be installed, and that's the same for the live thing. And so this directory tree, these are all text files, and we have a class system. Class system is like you can group machines if you want to install a lot of machines and say all these machines belong, for example, to department A or department B. Here in the live environment, we just have a more general file class called Debian, which does some basic Debian things, for example, the kernel and so on. And then here you see there's a string called GNOME. So in the GNOME class, which is just a bunch of files which has the same file name, they describe what to do when we want to have a GNOME environment. A list of packages, but maybe also some customizations that are only done for GNOME. So this is the file class system. This is very easy, and then we have these building blocks, and if we have these file classes, we can just collect the parts and have one configuration. How do we build a live ISO system? There are 2 commands. There's the FAI command, And the file command is first called with an action. We call this here dir install. So it's like create a change root environment with these classes and all the packages that will be installed. So file dir install will create under /srv/live a huge directory tree, which is the whole installation including GNOME. And if this is finished, then there's a second command called filecd. And filecd just, you point it to this directory tree and to an output file, and filecd will grab everything in this change root environment and then creates a bootable ISO. That's it, 2 commands. The same or similar is if you want to create an installation image, so an image that you boot and then runs the installation of the machine. There you have not the live environment, but you have to prepare a partial package mirror. So all package that you want to install to a machine will be inside a partition mirror, and then you say we have a default installation and live environment, and then using filecd you say here's the mirror and use the default phi environment and create a bootable ISO that's doing the installation. So also only 2 commands that you have to run. So this Phi as a service, or PhiMe, this is just a normal web server, and I have a build server, and there's a CGI script. So if you submit your job, I will just scan all the options you have, and in the end, these 2 commands are executed by a queuing system, a very simple queuing system, and they use these Phi classes. And each job has its own subdirectory, so if there are 10 people submitting jobs, I have 10 subdirectories, and I look at the timestamp and then see which is the next job that will be executed. We pass for some errors. We support different NFS routes. This is the environment if you want to do the live thing on a Trixie or in a Bookworm, or we even support, for example, Ubuntu installation. There we need different NFS environments. So on the build server, we have like 5 NFS routes. I switch to this, and this is bad. So this job has been aborted for whatever reason. Shouldn't happen, but we can download the log file. The requested URL was not found on the server. So, is this because of a set? What did you say? Yeah? Frozen. Okay, yeah, frozen bundle. But it shouldn't then abort. It should. Yeah. So there was a typo in the package name, but this happens very often, and then usually the error message will be shown. But no problem. We just restart it again. And sure, since I do not know if the download is fast enough, I've prepared a live ISO, which I can present later. So some references, who is using Phi or used Phi in the past. So there's a questionnaire, so I always ask people, oh, if you did something with Phi, please fill out the questionnaire, where I ask which version of Phi are you using, do you use this Phi as a service, did you set up your own Phi server, how do you manage your configuration space? Is this a very big configuration space? Are you using shell scripts or maybe an Ansible environment for your customization? And yeah, over the time I asked also the people or the companies and universities if I could show the logos of the organizations here. This is another list. For example, archive.org is also using FAI for managing or installing the machines. So the process is still running. So we let this run, and I will just boot the machine or the live ISO that I already prepared for you. So this is a grub menu. You see it only for a few seconds. And then the machine boots up. It will take some time. And for example, during boot up, there will be SSH host keys generated. So the ISO in the live system does not have fixed SSH host keys, but these are generated when booting up. This is normal. So now we have the GNOME login. The user was Debian, and then the password. And now we see the, I think it's an XFCE environment using the backports. This is the Trixie version. You see, Debian Trixie was installed using the 6.9 kernel. We have Frozen Bubble there. Yeah, and this is a live system. So, and as I told you, there's a similar service for creating a cloud or disk image that can be executed. So different variations, and in the end, it's always the same. We call debootstrap, we add additional packages, we do some customization, and then maybe we create a disk image out of it, or a live ISO, or we just create an image which runs the installation. So that's it, and here we will just wait if this job will finish. Thank you, and I'm waiting for questions.
That was a brilliant talk, and I assume like it would save a lot of time for people just not having to mess around with different configs and different documentations and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's give him a warm applause, and if you have any questions,
Yeah.
please.
Please, now. Over there.
So I successfully used FAI on Raspberry Pi machines and on ARM before. I noticed that you assumed an AMD 64 for your live system. Are you thinking about adding multiple architectures to that section?
So currently, the web service only supports AMD 64, but Phi itself can also use different architectures and even create cross-architecture environments. And since you had the questions, you get a small present from me. More questions.
If I have personal DB packages not in Debian, this package, there are a way to add to this system.
Yeah, so the question, if you have a different package repository or package, can you also put it on this? Yeah, that for the installation ISO, there's an option where for advanced users where you can also add your own package repository. And there, so you can give a URL for your package repository and then just give the names of the packages. So you will get this one. More questions? Any questions? Still have a minute left.
at the website, also Oracle Linux and CentOS is possible. So, but in the build your own, I clicked. But how can I make another distribution?
So with Phi, it's possible also to install Rocky Linux or Ubuntu Linux. So during the installation, we always run a Debian system, but then into the target, we can also install RPM-based distributions. This is available with Phi itself, but not on the web service. It could be added, but this would be some work, and so I concentrate for the web service on Debian and Ubuntu. And you can choose Frisbee or this one. Oh. So, last question for Frisbee. Oh, finish?
So, yeah,
Okay.
so it was a wonderful talk. And if you have any more questions, feel free to talk to Thomas Lange after the talk.
Yeah, and this URL will be available in 1 or 2 minutes. Then it's officially on the web page that you can use this live service. Thank you very much.